Hey guys, LevelCap here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Amerish, the new continent in the Planetside 2 beta. And this continent looks awesome. It's the third continent released, and it's going to be one of the 3 continents coming out with the full release of the game. And this continent is lush. It's green, there's foliage, there's trees, plants, little streams here and there, large mossy rocks. The thing just looks beautiful, and it's finally nice to see an environment like this in Planetside, because most of the fighting in Planetside takes place outside of bases. So if you're going to be fighting in nature, in the environment, if you've got a continent like Amerish, it just makes the battles look that much cooler, and they're that much more fun to play on. Now, in general, there's been some big changes with the concept of how I think the developers are trying to lay out their continent. One, there's a lot of big mountain ranges. You can sort of see them off in the background, and you'll get some better looks at them later on in this video, but there's gigantic mountain ranges that basically force people into valleys. So tank columns have to travel down roads in valleys. Infantry aren't going to really run over mountains. If you even have a little fast little ATV, they can't really get over the hills so well. So it sort of guides the battles down into the valleys, and you end up in a situation where you take one base and then the road forks off, so you can either go to the left or to the right. The enemy can very easily anticipate where you're going to be going, so it allows the battles to sort of flow throughout the continent rather than just sort of take this amoeba-like progression throughout the continent, where it's very hard to figure out where the big battle is going to take place next. You know, a big battle ends on Indar, and you're like, all right, where is everybody going to push to next? And you know, you might as well flip a coin or roll the die rather, because there's like one of 6 places that battle could end up, or it could split off into a bunch of smaller battles. Amerish is, I really like the predictability of it. It feels a little bit more tactical, where you can like anticipate where the enemy is going to be, set up your forces there to defend or go on the attack, and you're like, oh man, we're pushing in this base. This base has got excellent air defense, so we're going to need to bring a big tank column with us, or something like that. It's just a lot of fun playing on this new continent. Now, another thing that you'll notice if you've been playing on Indar and Esamir a lot is that on Amerish, you've actually got a lot of cover for you as infantry. So assaulting a base can be a lot of fun in a tank, but they're usually more pushed off to the bigger open areas, which are more around the roads and stuff. The infantry have the options of parking senders off in clusters of trees and starting big infantry pushes from one side or the other, and that can be a lot of fun. You have all these trees, all these rock formations, just a lot of options for mounting your next assault. Compared to Indar or Esamir, sometimes it's just very much localized. Like if you're infantry, well, you've got like 2 rocks to choose from to hide behind, and this is where you get an attack from. So it can be kind of rough trying to go infantry heavy on those other continents, especially Esamir, which is just sort of wide open. Tanks aren't restricted really on that continent. They can drive anywhere. So if you got 4 tanks pushing an area, it's going to be very hard for the infantry to stop them before they get there. You just don't have enough cover or areas to hide in. That is not the case with Amerish. I mean, you can see here on the horizon, there's just tons of trees to choose from. You can just run into the forest, run up on top of a little ledge, hide behind a few rocks, go into a little stream area. There's just a lot of places to hide from the tanks or mount counter assaults against the armor. So the armor basically will leave you alone if you're in the trees or on just an infantry heavy area of the map. Now, I've chosen to show you guys mostly daytime gameplay here, because Amerish just looks awesome with the sun out. But I will say that I have been playing mostly on night, not by choice, just because it has been night. I don't know if this is something that was planned or it's just the way it is, but it seems like the night cycle is extremely long on Amerish. A bit longer than I'd like it to be, just because this continent looks so good, and it's really hard to sort of see the beauty of it when it's nighttime, because it really does get very dark in Planetside when it's night. It's hard to see things, which is good. I think nighttime is an appropriate, it looks appropriate, you know, it makes good use out of the infrared scope and sights and night vision on sides and stuff like that to better help see guys at night, but it lasts a really long time, which can kind of get a little bit tiring, especially when you're like, you know what, I want to see this awesome looking continent. So it'd be cool if they maybe increase the day cycle and decrease the night cycle. Another cool thing about the layout of the map is that rather than having big open bases that are sort of just open to attack from any angle, they really emphasize taking these smaller outlying bases in Amerish. So right now we're trying to take a smaller outlying base, which actually has some very good defense on it. It's got sort of like 2 towers with anti-air cannons, even a shield generator to keep most of the armor out of it. And so they're really sort of incentivizing you, like we took a base up in the hills and then you come down this big road and there's sort of an outpost there that's well defended, and then beyond that outpost is the big base that sort of controls the territory. So if you capture the big base, then you flip the territory, you start gaining resources for that base. But first we're just trying to get the outpost so that we can spawn there, spawn armor there, all that kind of stuff. And they really sort of guide you towards that base first and make it make a lot more sense to take these outlying bases, because the enemy can spawn on those bases. If you try and go for the main base first, then they'll flank you. So you really want to capture these outlying bases first. So that's a lot of fun. You end up getting a lot more of what basically happened in Planetside 1, whereas you would take the outside towers usually before taking the main base, and you'd have little tower fights outside of those towers. Same concept, except that it's much more funneled, I guess, in a way, where rather than having a tower just sitting out in the middle of nowhere that can be attacked from any angle, you really are attacking it from one front for the most part. On Indar or Amerish, sometimes when you're assaulting a base, you'll get sunders that are parked like in a full 360 around a base, and you'll just be assaulting it from every single angle. You don't notice that quite as much on Amerish. They really try and make it hard for you to fully encircle a base when you're attacking it, so you have to kind of assault it from one direction. Now, there's some bases that are so freaking cool on Amerish. There's one that literally looks like the Battle of Helm's Deep. There's a gigantic wall dissecting this canyon, and then there's a big series of towers on one end of this wall, and you have to go up into those towers and take it. The wall prevents armor from going past it, so you have to go up on this little road through the tower area. It looks pretty much like a castle. It looks awesome. The battles around these bases look awesome. You can tell that the devs really learned from the other continents. Probably Indar was, from what I've heard from the devs, is kind of their test continent. They're really just messing around, seeing how the battles worked out on them, and now Amerish has really taken all that information that they've gained and put that into crafting these battles, making them a lot more fun. And I have to say, the firefights and the action that I've had on Amerish is a hell of a lot more fun than I've had on Indar, which is also sort of an infantry. It's a good mixture between infantry and vehicular combat. But I gotta say, Indar, there's a whole desert area to the north. I have not once fought up there and had fun. You know, it's just flat, uninteresting to look at, and the base layouts are pretty unimaginative. So Amerish is a true testament to show how map design can really make the same game a lot more fun. I was still having fun while playing this game on Indar. I'm having a hell of a lot more fun playing this game on Amerish, and it's due to the wonderful map design. Now, if the devs can take some of the design techniques and perhaps reimagine Indar a little bit in some areas, I think that'd be a great change to potentially make the game a lot more fun overall, regardless of what continent you're on. That's it for my video on Amerish. If you guys have the beta, hop on, try it out for yourselves, fly around, take in the gorgeous views. And if you enjoyed this video, please remember to rate it, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap, signing off.